Okay, I've always wanted to talk about this Pokemon and show you guys what you're missing out on. Or rather, how you guys have undermined your gameplay by not applying this Pokemon right. This is a very special Pokemon which I truly admire for its very precise gameplay and design. That's right, it's none other than Absol. You heard that right, Absol is a pretty exciting Pokemon if you think about it, because although it might not be the best in its lane, it takes up a very unique gameplay that, if used well, will really help your team outshine the enemies. It won't even matter if your enemy's team have a lot of outstanding Pokemon like Cinderace, Mr. Mime, or others. With this guide, you'll be able to take advantage of what I call dangerous sleekness and really make its badass side shine. Hey everyone, and welcome back to my gaming channel, GeekyGamers. I said that Absol may not be the best in its lane. I said that referring to Zeraora. Though you might have other Pokemon in mind that can outplay Absol, I've figured out the mystery behind Absol's gameplay that makes it so effective on the battlefield. It basically becomes a ninja. Take a moment to think about what I just said. In all honesty, my idea surrounding Absol is that it literally is a Pokemon assassin ninja. That's mostly what the root of this Pokemon is all about. And also, after tons of research, I've come up with the best builds that really help this ninja Pokemon shine in a match. Enough talking now, let's dive right into the math of it all. Absol is a Pokemon that falls under the Speedster category. These are fast, high damage dealing Pokemon who improve your team's ability to score goals quickly and escape the enemy's territory before getting caught. Absol takes on a sweet dog or wolf-like design, with red eyes, white fur, and a distinctive long blackish horn, giving it a pretty dangerous look. As you might have already guessed by its shape, this Pokemon doesn't have any long-ranged attacks, which actually poses a threat to its life. Like any other Pokemon with short-ranged attacks, they have this disadvantage. They have to face off their enemies face to face. It can get annoying when you're trying to deal damage, but also taking massive hits. At that moment, the victor would be decided based on who has the highest damage output and the highest HP, or healing factor. If you've got a Pokemon like Greedent, you can attack your enemies face to face and still have hopes of surviving. With a fragile Pokemon like Absol, however, you're kinda gonna want to turn on your predator instincts. By the way, make sure to check my video on the best Greedent builds. There, I will show you how to maximize that cute but monstrous Pokemon. Anyway, back to Absol. Lay low in the shadows waiting for prey. Spot it and slowly close in on them. And bam! It's on the chase, headed for the neck to deal the killing blow, and nothing else. That's just how Absol works. It's not a frontline fighter, it's an opportunistic Pokemon that uses its teammates to draw out the opponent. And once their attention is distracted, it pounces on them from behind. You shouldn't just rush into the enemy's base to score a goal though, because, like I said, it's a pretty weak Pokemon that needs its actions timed out precisely. Hopefully, you see and get what I mean by all of this. I've tried this gaming style with Absol and it was incredible. I kept scoring points consistently and hitting the enemy right from the back. They didn't even see me coming. What's more, by the time Zapdos had arrived, my team and I were already far off in the lead, and had enough time on our hands to wipe Zapdos clean into oblivion. We even took on other disbelieving enemies, and were in the lead the whole game. I won't outright lie that it's all thanks to my gameplay with Absol. That wouldn't be fair on my teammates, because, like I said, Absol depends on your teammates. It isn't the strongest on the field and needs to hunt down its prey. You need to have a dynamic team that will distract the enemy while you strike like a backup force from behind. At the end of the game, I came up with the highest score in the match. You heard that right. Anyways, this video won't be complete if we don't talk about the best builds for Absol and which Pokemon sync well with it. So, without any further ado, let's get right to it. Absol performs very differently depending on the lane it is battling on. Based on popular opinion, it is a pro at the jungle lane with a swift 5-star. And that's pretty much it. On the other hand, it downplays your team in the bottom lane with 3-star and works even worse in the top lane with a 2-star if generous. Its strengths lie in high burst damage, mobility, and its Unite move makes it untargetable for a few seconds. Its weaknesses are that its massive damage relies on critical hits, which is bad as a short-range striker. When building Absol, you've got to make sure you are equipping it with items aimed to sustain its HP. Chances are, it will be one of the top carriers in the team, and if it is to die at an unfortunate moment, it becomes hell. My first recommended build is the Slasher build. Okay, yes, I have strange names for them. This build includes Scope Lens, Razor Claw, and Focus Band for your held items. For your moveset, you'll want to go with Night Slash and Psycho Cut. Then, no surprise, get the Eject button for your battle item. That's the one I recommend for all the builds I've got. In a situation where the enemy you've jumped from behind turns around to face you, you're pretty much going to want to eject away. Now, this build utilizes every possibility of giving Absol critical damage bonuses. You would be expected to attack your enemies from behind, raining down the claws of Absol in a swarm of Night Slash and Psycho Cuts. Once the enemy notices their HP dropping drastically and attempts to escape from Absol, you then finish them off with a second round of Night Slash. Remember that the critical hit rate from the second round of Night Slash attacks will depend on the opponent's HP left. See why I said to sneak up from behind and deal massive damage? Focus Band, as I said, aims to make Absol more sustainable, as it provides good defense stats, while the remaining two, Scope Lens and Razor Claws, help boost your critical hit chances to make the last strike worth it. We then have the Lane Crusher build. For this build, we've got held items as Attack Weight, Scope Lens, and Score Shield. For your moveset, Pursuit and Sucker Punch with your Eject button again. This build is mainly focused on helping your team advance forward into other lanes. This build would be especially great if you already have a high amount of damage dealers on your team. Your work would be to help push in lanes. We already know that Scope Lens is best for critical hits, but Score Shields and Attack Weight would be extra to score more goals and increase your damage. Finally, we have the Creeper build. I know this name sounds weird, but hear me out. This build has a lot of similarities to the first build. Held items are Scope Lens, Razor Claws, and Focus Band. Moveset as Pursuit and Sucker Punch. And finally, you should take Eject button. This build is like if the first and the second build had a child. It's the exact example of why you attack from behind using Absol. The moveset is aimed at damage-dealing attacks from behind to reduce the cooldown for Pursuit. The held items play an essential role as the Scope Lens and Razor Claws boost your critical hit rate, and the Focus Band improves your survivability. You are more than free to choose from any of these builds of mine, but if you've got something else in mind, I'd be more than happy to hear them out in the comments. Before we wrap it all up, let's look at the best teammates for Absol. I would definitely recommend Pokemon that are either supports or defenders, like Eldegoss. You can even mix it up with attackers like Pikachu and Gardevoir. You see, the sweet touch you get from using Absol above other speedsters is it really can work well with most Pokemon and teams. That's it, everyone. What did you think about my best guides and gameplay for Absol? Let me know what you've got in mind, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more Pokemon Unite tips and strategies. Thanks, geeks, and see you in the next video.